Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're getting in some reading. I should say you're reading, but I should say some reading. Just remember, if you like what you see in here, please like and subscribe. And also, if you could support me, I'd really appreciate it. I have a link to my bookshop.org site where you can find the book that I'm going to review today. You can buy this book and not this exact copy, but maybe a different copy of the same book and still support me. Anyways, today the book we're doing is The Fellowship of the Ring by J.R.R. Tolkien. Book I have wanted to read for a very long time. I started it can't remember when it was. It was a while ago. It was a number of years ago. And it just kind of sat, unfortunately. And I just didn't get around to it. I had started it, and I got to 313. I got to the Council of Elrond. Got to chapter 2 of part 2. Read a good chunk of it, and then I just kind of quit. Can't remember why. I guess I had other books to read, as I usually do. Long story short, I read one of my good friends and I and two other friends of ours. We have a book club that we meet 4 times a year. We do it sort of on a school schedule. I don't know why. So we do September, November, March, and June. March or April, depends on where Easter lands and how spring break is going and that sort of thing. Anyways, we meet 4 times a year. Even if you look at a calendar, we only meet 4 times a year. And what we do is we bring together books that we think we would like to read, and as a group, and then we come and discuss it. We don't necessarily read new buzzy books. We've read old classics. We did and because of the way we do it, we've been doing this book club for about 20 years now. Or is it 25? It's almost 20. I think it's either this year or next year is our 20th year. And we do 4 books, and one of the things we like to do is we like to do a theme. So for 6 years, each year we would read a Jane Austen book, and we read her 6 main novels, which are Pride and Prejudice, Sense and Sensibility, Persuasion, Mansfield Park, Northanger Abbey, and I'm forgetting Emma. That's right, I forgot about Emma. I had to look back there. And then we did the Harry Potter books. Did those over 7 years, and it landed right in the damn smack of COVID. Yay for us. And I think we finished that last fall. We did get through it in 7 years. And this next 3 years, we're going to be starting with this year, we're going to be doing the Lord of the Rings series. And we just did, as I am recording this, we just did it about a week ago. And we had so much fun. We watched the movie. The first movie, extended edition, of course. And my friend who hosted also made the food. She also runs a food blog called Rhubarb and Lavender, and she has done a Lord of the Rings themed series. And I will post a link to her site if you're interested in making any of the things that she has made. Her food is absolutely delicious. So if you make any of those things on her site, they're absolutely beautiful. They're absolutely wonderful. I've had a number of them. I haven't had everything off of them. I will say her food is really, really good. Anyways, back to the book. This is not a food review. This is a book review. So I'm going to review the Lord of the Ring, the Fellowship of the Ring, the first part of the Lord of the Rings. It's just a little bit of a blurb. I'll read it and then I'll give you my thoughts and review. In a sleepy village in the Shire, a young hobbit is entrusted with an immense task. He must make a perilous journey across Middle-earth to the cracks of doom. Right, that's what it says. There to destroy the ruling ring of power, the only thing that prevents the Dark Lord's evil dominion. Thus begins J.R.R. Tolkien's classic tale, which continues in The Two Towers and The Return of the King. So, I give this a 5. Now, I am not a fan, generally, of high fantasy. And this is what this book is generally. It is high fantasy. Very much the nth degree. It's not the type of fantasy that you see in Harry Potter, which are right over my shoulder. You can see right there. You probably, yeah. It's not Harry Potter. This is much more, it's high fantasy, but it's also literary, which I really liked. It had a very good, clear, distinct story to it, and I think that's what I liked about it. Who knows if I'll feel about that what I feel, if I'll feel about that with The Two Towers and The Return of the King. Who knows? Maybe by the time the third book around, I just wanted the darn thing to be finished. We'll find out in a couple of years. But in any case, I really enjoyed it. I gave this a 5, if I think I stated that. I think, not because of the high fantasy, but because it's really literary, and it's really good, and it's a really well told story. But I did have to give a little bit of critique, and some people may not agree. I know some people will not. Really think the story of Tom Bombadil could have been left out. It really did not add to the story, other than letting them know where how to get to the prancing pony in the next chapter. I think, and introduce them to Strider, I think. But I think, other than that, I really did not have a qualm with J.R.R. Tolkien's storytelling. I really quite liked it. I'm also a big fan of The Hobbit. I really liked that story. I think also reading The Hobbit beforehand couple times, so I had a good grasp of the story, also really, really helps. Reason I say that is because there are things in that book that are mentioned that a lot of people, I think, when they are reading Lord of the Rings, they do not understand when it comes to some of the quirks about hobbits. Especially like the meal times and that sort of thing. I think it's important to know that structure really, really well. Sorry, I was just wondering what it was. It's remote. I think that's really important. So if you're going to read this, the Fellowship, the Lord of the Rings trilogy, I think you really need to read The Hobbit before this, because it's sort of it's the prequel to it. You're introduced to Bilbo. You're introduced to the life of the hobbits in the Shire. And you get a sense of who they are as beings. And I think that's really important. So I'm not here to shame you if you don't want to read The Hobbit, but I think you're going to understand the story a lot more and enjoy the story a lot more if you go and if you do read The Hobbit before you read The Fellowship of the Ring. It just gives you a bit more grounding in the story, and it gives you a bit more grounding in how the ring came to be in Bilbo's possession, and the whole thing between Bilbo and Smeagol / Gollum. I'm going to put them as one entity. So, I mean, I'm not here to say it's a bad thing. If you don't want to read The Hobbit, that's fine if you don't. But I highly recommend that you do, because it gives you context as to what to expect when you come into the Lord of the Rings series trilogy. Anyways, that was The Fellowship of the Ring. And if you're wondering where I got these little mass market paperback, I got them. It was published in 1999, but these were out when the movies came out. They came out as a trilogy. Now, I bought them individually because I think I saw the first two. I didn't see the complete set together. I can't remember. But I will put these on my shelf. They're on another shelf that they're not facing me. Actually, they are facing me. They're not facing you. They're not on the back of me. But in any case, I do highly recommend this book. In fact, I think even if you do not like fantasy at all, I would recommend reading it, because it really does introduce you to that whole genre of high fantasy. I think I'm tempted to... I see why people read Shadow of the Wind, or whatever it is, by Patrick Rothfuss. I can't remember what it is. In the name of the Wind. I can't remember what it was. But I can see why people like this type of genre. Because it can be highly the literary value in it is very high and very excellent. And also, yes, it can be quite ridiculous. I realize that. Sorry, I got an eye thing in my that's been bugging me. But yeah, it's a really good book. I highly recommend it. I would say read it. It's not at all intimidating. The best thing you probably can do, and I did this with this book, is maybe tandem read it with an audio. Especially when you get to the Council of Elrond, or Elrond. I would highly recommend doing that through audio. I would even I don't have the Andy Serkis one, but I can probably guess it's really good. So I would say get the Andy Serkis one. It's available probably at most wherever you get your audiobooks, you can probably get it there. It's the one narrated by Andy Serkis, the guy who voiced and who was Gollum in the movies. My precious. Anyways, I really enjoyed this book. I'm really looking forward to the next two. I'm really, really tempted to read the next two because I really enjoyed The Fellowship. I actually read this in like 4 or 5 days. It's really easy to break up. And once you get going, it is really a good book. It is excellent. I'd highly recommend that you read it if you're going to do audio, please do it on a higher speed. It's a really long book. It's well over 20 hours for the audio. So if you do it anywhere from, I did 1.1, and if you do 1.5, you might get it done in like 15 hours. It's a really good book, and it's a really well-crafted book, and I just really liked it. I mean, it was I don't know what to say. It just really blew my mind away. I think I expected something completely different, and I got something really out of it, and I really quite enjoyed it. And I hope if you pick it up, I hope you do pick it up. I hope if you do pick it up, that you enjoyed it as I did. And that is to say, I know I spent 5 minutes not talking about the book, but I've spent about 10 minutes now talking about it. So I will actually say goodbye. Reminder that if you like what you hear and what you hear and see, if you enjoy what I'm doing, please like and subscribe, and please let other people know. The more people we can get this out to, the better. Also, make sure you support me if you can through my BookBub, my bookshop.org site, where this book can be. I'll put hopefully remember to put a link, and I'll put a link to my friend's cooking blog as well, for those of you who may want to try some of her Lord of the Rings food that she has made. And also, if you have read this book, please let me know. Okay? Give me some feedback. Did you enjoy the book as well? I mean, what did you like about it? For me, I just really liked the literary value of this book. It didn't feel like fantasy, even though it was. And I think that's what I really liked about the book, because it really felt normal to a certain degree. It felt medievalish to a certain extent. Like I'm talking 12 or 1300s here. Anyways, so 13th or 14th century. Anyways, that is to say, I look forward to seeing your comments, and I hope if you like what I did, please like it, and please also subscribe to the channel if you like what you're seeing and hearing, and please pass it on to others. And I hope to look forward to talking to you soon. Bye for now.